Grace and peace to Professor Garrett and to my fellow students. Great to be with you guys. My important object is my cell phone, right? A pastor, my important object isn't a Bible or a hymn book. It's my cell phone. This phone for me is a source of power, and it reminds me about a lot of things. It's a source of power. It reminds me, one, of emotional statements. I can remember some years ago applying for a church, going through the process, and getting a phone call from that church's pulpit committee. And that phone call, they asked, was I driving? I said I was. They asked me to pull over. I'm nervous, anxious, pull over, and they tell me the great news that I have been chosen to lead that congregation. Great season, great time, great memories. And then I remember maybe a month or two later, getting another phone call from that church's administrator that her father had been attacked and beaten up and ultimately died from his injuries. See, this phone is a reminder for me that not only do you get notifications of blessings, you also get notifications of burdens. So I don't know when the phone rings whether it will be the notification of a death or the notification of a birth. I don't know if I will be a sense of strength for someone, a source of encouragement. And so it keeps me even keel. It reminds me of the emotional statements. It also reminds me of my erratic schedule, right? There are some things that are strategically planned that are in my phone. They're strategically arranged. And then there's some other things that are surprising and alarming. There's some times when there's a meeting planned, and then there's some times when there's an important event like the visiting of a hospital, meeting a family at a funeral home because of the death of a loved one. Some things are planned, some things are not, but the schedule is all kept in my cell phone. It reminds me of encouraging statements, emotional statements. It also reminds me of my erratic schedule. And then it reminds me of an encouraging structure, right? I do most of my studying on my phone, preparing for messages, preparing for Bible study sessions. It's done on my phone. I'm always going, ripping and running from one thing to the next, from the house to obligations. And the one thing that I know I'll have on me is my phone. So I diagram passages of scripture, study passages of scripture, getting ready for Sunday morning. But not only is it a place of study for presentation, for me, it's a place of statements of promise. There are times when I can read the scriptures in preparation for Sunday morning to speak to someone else. Then there are other times for me, it's just a reminder of God's promises. God talks to me through the Bible app on my phone, kind of reminding me of some things that he's done in my life, then reminding me of what he will do. I think all of us need the scripture as a source of promise for strength. And that for me comes on my phone. These things have gotten so expensive over the years. I've replaced a few of them. The last one I replaced, when I got to the place to replace it, I took the case off. And although the case was beaten and battered, I dropped it a few times. The actual phone was in perfect condition. That's a reminder for me that although there's some things that will happen in this life that may beat me up, scratch me, the inside is in perfect condition. Paul says to the church in Rome that these things that we go through is not compared, can't be compared with the glory that shall be revealed in us one day. That although these are some difficult seasons, we can make it. We might be scratched, but the interior, the phone, is still in great condition. This thing rings and goes off all of the time, and I don't know from one minute to the next whether it will be something that will make me smile or something that will make me cry. And so I've just decided to live life with my trusty sidekick, my phone, trusting God to give me whatever I need. Yes, my important object is my phone. This thing rings all the time. but I keep it because it reminds me of so many things. This phone is even ringing as we speak. So I'm gonna ask you to do me a favor. Pray for me, because I don't know what's on the other end of this phone. You guys be blessed.